Hey, Nicole Huntsman, your astrologer from moderncosmic.com. We're going to talk about inner aspects between Sun and Saturn in Synastry. So, all right, we've got the Sun of one person, the Saturn of the other. The Sun is sort of your life force. It's a person's identity. And then the Saturn of the other person would be that other person's, it's their discipline. It's their inner grown-up, all right? It's the part of them that says what's right and what's wrong with things in the world. You know, it's responsible. It's also restrictive. And it's the part of us that can be a little bit heavy-handed. It can be a wet blanket too. So now also Saturn, because it is the part of us that's responsible, it's the grown-up, it's the part that commits. It's the part of the personality that decides, okay, marriage is a good thing, or a long-term relationship is a good thing. This gives me security. This gives me some sort of, solid in the real world, something to build upon. So with Saturn, this is a tricky one because you've really got to look at. First of all, you're really deemed to look at the zodiac sign that the Saturn is in and the Sun, okay? I've had people comment on other videos with these inner aspects, I have that. A lot of the fixed signs, it's funny, the people who disagree with things are usually fixed signs. My Leos and my Tauruses, they're usually the ones. And Capricorns, they're cardinal. But anyway, you've really got to look at obviously the zodiac sign that these planets are in, okay? If you have a Pisces Saturn, or if you have someone who's got a Saturn and Capricorn, those are two very different Saturns. They play out very, very differently. So pay attention first to the quality of the Saturn, how it's going to be expressed, if it's, the element, the modality, the zodiac sign, all that stuff, and then look at the quality of the Sun, okay? These are really important to make note of. If it's someone who is immutable, if you've got mutable signs, there's more of a bendableness with that Saturn. If you've got someone who's got a cardinal sign, typically, I'm generalizing here, but cardinal signs with Saturn would be ones that are wanting to get things done. They're quite in their process of doing something. They like it to have a nice linear plan, kind of a thing. And if it's a fixed sign, then it's going to be very much full steam ahead Saturn, or it could be one that gets kind of stuck in its way of thinking, and its old sort of can get stuck in old modalities, ways of thinking, or rigid structures. Okay, so the fixed Saturns are going to be the most sort of powerful in my mind, unless you've got like a Saturn in Capricorn, and Saturn in Libra is actually really strong too. Okay, so that being said, if you've got questions, ask them down below. Let's get started. So Sun conjunct Saturn. If your Sun is conjoining your partner's Saturn, what happens with this is the relationship will feel like a real life there's a seriousness to the relationship. The Saturn person could bring out in the Sun person the desire to be more responsible, to work harder, to take care of personal responsibilities, to be a grown-up, really, all right? The Saturn person can also feel a little bit pessimistic to the Sun person, or could feel like they are trying to exert some kind of control over the Sun person's self-expression with what they do with their life. I've had this with different people, Saturn conjunct the Sun, and it's not really it's not a bad thing. I like it. I have Saturn conjunct my ascendant, so I appreciate Saturn. I like people who are disciplined, and I like when they bring that out in me. So Saturn conjunct the Sun is going to bring out that inner discipline, that, like I said, it's kind of your inner grown-up, okay? It's going to make, it's not a dreamy relationship, okay? All other things, let's say we're not talking about anything else, but just this Saturn-Sun conjunction does make the relationship have a real world. You can see all the warts. You see what it's all about. It's the real deal, okay? It's not a Neptune. This is not Neptune we're talking about. That would be the fantasy thing where you're casting all of your illusions onto your partner. This one is like you see each other's broken bits, and then if you've got a person who has a healthy relationship with their Saturn in their birth chart, that person can be great for helping you to improve in different areas of your life. And so, as you can see, this can be really good for long-term relating because there's this element of commitment to one another. There's this element of understanding that life is not simple, and that if we've decided to be in a relationship together with one another, then we're going to work hard at the relationship and fixing things. So you can have this quality, which can be helpful in a long-term relationship. Now, the same, by the way, will go for even if it's a trine or a sextile, any of the easy flows. There's not really such a thing as an easy flow with Saturn, because Saturn is about learning how to work. It's learning about work first and then play, okay? Now, if you've got Saturn squaring the sun or Saturn opposing the sun, then you've got a situation where the Saturn person, it could feel to that sun person that Saturn person really is trying to control the sun person's movement, all right, the way that they're living their life. Or it could feel like the Saturn person is, it's almost like it's a little bit too serious and somber and restricting, and like you're trying to rein me in or, hold on to me. Now, the Saturn person, what's interesting, they will feel a certain, regardless of whatever the inner aspect is, okay? Any of the inner aspects, the Saturn person will feel an obligation and duty to the sun person, okay? They'll feel like, I'm here because there's some sort of work I'm supposed to do on your behalf, or I'm supposed to help you in some way through these, through showing up, through this sort of exchange of work with one another, if that makes any sense. So this is, it's so again, now if it's the squares of the oppositions, then it really can feel like the life force of the sun person is being sucked by the Saturn, okay? It can feel like you feel like you're under their thumb, under the Saturn's thumb, or you feel like you're being like, it's like the phrase, you're not my father, like, or this feeling like the partner was, if it's a woman, then you're not my mother, this parental sort of thing would happen here, where the sun person would feel like the child, like the divine child, and the Saturn person would feel like some authority figure or parental figure. And that's not really a great feeling in a romantic relationship. It sort of strips away the necessary components of feeling like you're equally yoked, and also trust. There can be issues like the sun person can feel like, do you not trust me? Does the Saturn person not trust me? Do you not trust I know what I'm doing with my life? Or, if we've committed to one another, that I am faithful to you, that kind of thing. Now, in Magi astrology, I like their take. I actually appreciate some of Magi astrology, some of the things they put forth, because I've played around with a lot of their concepts with Chiron and Saturn and Juno. And I think some of their reasoning's pretty sound, just through my anecdotal experimenting with it. Saturn, they say that if the person who holds the Saturn is if they call them Saturn, what do they call them? Saturn bonds or Saturn captivations. That's right. Saturn captivations. And so there's the suggestion that if you're the sun person, you feel captivated, that Saturn has a hold on you. They have a glue preventing you from leaving them. And depending upon the planet that it's making an aspect to, it's that portion of your psyche. So if it was your moon, then emotionally you would feel indebted to the Saturn person, or you would feel captivated by them. And if you mix in Juno aspects, like Juno Saturn or Juno Venus aspects, then you've got like a sexual captivation is what Magi astrology, that's what their claim is. So I think it's pretty interesting. You check it out for yourself, see what you think, let me know down below. But there's my take on Sun-Saturn aspects. On to Uranus. And thanks for watching. Let me know if you got questions. This is fun. I love doing these Synastry videos. So, all right, see you later. Bye-bye.